is, look at my socks. Look at my socks.
What up, yo? I'm your host, DJ Iz. I got my lovely host, Miss
Chloe Wyatt Taylor.
What up, Chloe?
I thought you forgot my name for a minute.
No, I was like, you didn't see me doing like the Hulk Hogan ear kind of.
I love it.
What's up, y'all? We are here. This is show 41, episode 41. Man, it's like these weeks just keep coming by fast, and we just keep filling our grind up slots. And of course, you see me, Chloe. You see me rocking my Santa hat, right? Because you know I'm all about the season, right?
Because it's just so pretty. It's so pretty.
So
wait, can we shout out to our connected faithfuls and just talk for a minute, guys? Thank you. You are the things that you are sending us. Thank you so much. We are so excited. We have so many. We are going through everything now. All of your submissions, your resume questions. Thank you. Please keep sending them in. And we're just so overwhelmed by the love, and we'll be getting back to you very shortly. So
yeah, and I'm glad you actually got that right now, Chloe, because we're actually in the process of finalizing all our replies to all you guys and making sure that we're not missing out on anybody. Just as far as we've gotten a lot of resumes in, we got a lot of just really cool engagement from you all. So we're gonna make sure we get that response out to you guys this week. Other than that, Chloe, I mean, did you have a great week? I know. Talk to me about the David Bowie thing. Let me know how that went.
Look, we're in previews. We have been named, Time Out Magazine's named us one of the 5 must-see shows. So, but let's also wait. Can we talk about you for a second? Because we were at Caked Up last week, and you guys had your grand opening on Saturday. No?
Yeah, we had our grand opening Saturday, and it was great, man. Actually, a lot of folks came out, a lot of diversity. It wasn't just one specific. We had people that were, into gluten-free. We had people that were just wanted some cupcakes, and it was just, we couldn't keep enough on the shelf. And I want to shout out my man Katz, because of course Katz came through, because Katz came through because he, I had to give Katz a hug. I was like, man, you make it a point to just show up. So shout out to Katz for coming through and showing support. But it was great, Chloe. I mean, we couldn't keep, like I said, we couldn't keep enough on the shelf, and it was just a great experience. And I got to shake a lot of hands, meet a lot of people, and it was inspiring, and you in those moments you just always kind of you slip away real quick, because you just remember, man, it all started with an idea. It all started with just, okay, my buddy's wife bakes and we can do something really cool, and here we are in grand opening, and folks are just coming to get their goods. So it was really good. It was a really good turnout, and it was very exciting. So I think too, for our viewers that have that mindset of just what it takes to be an entrepreneur, how do you take a concept and idea, and how do you get it all the way to the finish line? That's a great journey and great process. That's why I think it was dope that we actually did last week's show from the bakery, because I think it's one thing, when
Mason,
people,
we're not at Caked Up now, by the way.
We're at the studio, but it's one thing for people to hear you talk about something, but for them to actually see you in an environment that was put together by an idea or a concept or a vision, that's kind of, that's where the tires meet the road for our viewers. So it was incredible, man. So, had a great weekend. Didn't really get a whole lot of time to chill on Sunday, because we kind of had to get back to the shop and see how everything was going and just kind of recalibrate. But, I'm gonna head on over there after the show and dial things back in. And, for the most part, I'm happy to be here with you, Chloe. During Christmas season, I got Christmas music banging all throughout the night, all throughout.
I love it. So. You're like the public radio station right now, or the Lifetime Movie Network, where it's like 21 Days of Christmas, and I'm not mad at it. I think it's beautiful. But sometimes I just want like my snapped or something, and I don't necessarily need it with a side of Santa.
Oh, got you.
But you and that hat is you and that hat. Perfection.
Hey guys, I'm all in the Christmas spirit. So Chloe, let's make sure we get some announcements. So for those of you who are on the go, who are mobile, do not forget to tune in on our podcast and our Google Play. You can catch the audio there. Also, too, Chloe, let them know where they can reach us as far as wanting to email us or they want to apply for the jobs. Hit them off with both of those links.
Love it. So, guys, you want to get out with us. Do you want to connect with us? You can find us at connected@rrfedu.com. And that's where we're getting all of your submissions for your resume questions, your life questions, your music, all of that. That's where you send it. To apply for these jobs, where you can only get these jobs here. It's not like they're everywhere. You want to go to rrfedu.com/connected/latest. And also not to mention that, yeah, we're giving you 5 jobs live and in this hangout, but we have an additional 5 jobs that we post to the website now. So technically we're giving you 10 jobs.
10 jobs, man.
10 jobs. Wait, we got to do a 10 jobs.
10
jobs. And also you can find us on social media everywhere at Is Connected. That's Facebook, that's the Twitter, that's Instagram. And yeah, that's it. Right.
Yeah, and you know what, also too, now that we got into the social media, I want to encourage all of you guys to make sure that you're following us, make sure you're passing along the info, tag folks, especially we were just talking about prior to the show, like I know there's a bunch of folks out there who are still sleeping on their mama's couch that want to get a job. Man, what are you doing? Tune in. Look out for your friends, send them the link, send them the info, because we can get them connected here just like y'all are. So make sure you guys really, really follow us on those things. And, you know, I always say it's a great way to track our day-to-day movement to see what we got going on, and just, you know, for inspiration. So what else can we touch on before we get into these grind outs?
Oh, survey. So guys, last week we did a survey. We're bringing it back because we just want to make sure, double extra special sure, that we didn't miss anybody. Thank you to those of you that have participated. Please participate again this week. But this week's survey, we still want to know once more, what is your favorite part of Is Connected? Is it the grind ops? Is it the Q&A, the career advice from us, the interviews, all that kind of stuff? We asked it last week. Now we are, what is it? It's called empirical data, I believe. I'm going to nerd out.
Break it down, Chloe. Break it down.
We just want to make sure we really heard you, so that we can give you the best show possible. So for those of you that are watching us in the official, the Powered by Recording Connection version, which is really good, we want to watch it there. The survey is going to be on your right-hand side. So pop in, fill it out. It's a quick poll, and then we will announce the results later in the show.
Yes, sir. And also, too, shout out to Cool J Love Music for, again, our wonderful musical intro piece and outro piece. We're still rocking with you, girl. So I know you got some more heat. Keep sending us some joints. And for all my music creators, music lovers, whatever it is you create, man, send us some stuff. You might get a cool feature. We can highlight you here on our show. So definitely, you know, get proactive on that stuff, because like I said, we always like to, we're at a point now where we like to just receive and engage with you guys. So just whatever you got, resume questions, get it to us, and we're here. Anything else before we get into these grind ops, Chloe? I know we need to kind of let them know as far as what they need to have out ready, pen, pad. Go ahead and break it down for them.
Time to get your crayons and your pencils, or pens or pencils, or your texting thumbs. I like to have my pen, my journal that says she is quick and playful and curious and strong. I have my phone, right? And of course, guys, I have my Like a Boss cup.
Jeez, Chloe, you hit them with the 1-2 punch.
Boom, 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 boom.
All right, cool. All right, here we go, folks. First grind out of the day is in the field of film. This is videographer, editor. HeartVeinNYC is seeking a commission and experienced videographer to design and edit informative and promotional video short. And this is located in New York, New York. My man Katz, you're gonna have to get some flight, some miles, get your get your traveling things locked in, man. You might have to get on a plane, bruh, and
Right?
go hunt down these opportunities. All right, so candidate must have 2 years of experience of some kind of production experience. He or she must know how to handle both audio and video in the field, knowledgeable on how to light scenes. Editing experience required. Reel must be included. Payment can be accommodated for part-time, hourly, or by project. Now,
Right.
Chloe, here we go. This is your road. How important is it to know how to light scenes? How crucial is lighting in that aspect?
Oh, lighting and sound are beyond crucial. Do you know people will forgive so much if you are lit properly and you sound good, right? They'll forgive a script. People will make excuses for a script. They'll make excuses for a continuity in a scene. But if the lighting is effed up or the sound is effed up, you got some serious cocky poo on your hands.
And you know, I can assume that's why they're saying there's 2 years of experience is required.
Yeah, but I love that they say of some kind. That makes me, that like warms my heart a little bit, because it's like, we're in your face, but we're easy about it.
All right. Now, Chloe, like, have you like came across somebody in that environment that is actually operating lighting and had a conversation as far as how long they've been doing it, or, you know, how long it took them to kind of get into this environment where they're doing these various duties and jobs on a film set?
You know what? I've never gotten into the conversations, but you can see the amount of effort it takes when they're turning over a scene, and it'll be like, in your mind, you're thinking, oh, they're just gonna move the camera to here. But it's like, no, boo-boo, it's nighttime and they're shooting it to look like day. So we're gonna need at least a half hour, because we gotta do all of these different things. And I'm not talking to him at that point, because everybody's got their job and I'm going to stay in my lane, but I watch. And it is, lighting is amazing.
Right.
Yeah. Good lighting makes everything better.
I know it's serious business. And I think too, you know, that's why it's extremely important for those of you who are looking to, you know, get something going in this world of film. It's so important to have a sizzle reel or a reel of your work, because you know, these folks can look at a reel within 2 seconds, Chloe, right? And know whether or not your shit is whack or it's good. Like, straight up, like, these are great opportunities. Like, you know, and, you know, payment can be accommodated for part-time, hourly, or by project. Like,
great,
you know, those you want to get in and really, like, show what you can do, you know, because you can be on the next project or the next project or the next project. And, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and assume, I don't usually like to assume, but I'm going to assume that if you got 2 years of experience, at least 2 years, you know what we're talking about. Right?
Yeah, at least like, the basics for sure.
Right. And this, you know, to me, this is something that's well beyond, you know, the basics, but it's something that you need to at least understand going into this thing. Like, you got to be at this level. Like,
you do, because you're not only shooting it, you're also editing it.
Yeah,
that's a different hat right there.
Yeah,
you're responsible for the story now.
Right. And like I said, that's why, you know, to me, if you were to have a reel in place, you know, you'd be able to pretty much show those different variations of what you're skilled at, you know, because a reel does require great editing. You know, how well lit your scenes are and all those things. So definitely a great opportunity. Again, this is in New York. And, you know, it's something definitely worth checking out if you're at that level. If you got those skills, definitely go for it. We encourage you to go for it.
Please do. Yeah. Wait, so before we go into Grind Up 2, we do have a special guest.
We got a special guest today. Who in the hell is with us today?
You know him. You love him. It is Edwin Menjivar, our Sultan of
the magnificent Edwin.
Hello, Edwin.
Hello, Edwin. I don't hear you.
Oh, still can't hear him.
Still can't hear him.
I used to major in lip reading.
Oh, Chloe, you got it. You can just translate.
I'm just pulling your leg. I don't know what he's saying. I have to try. He says, "Are you? I'm so good to be here." He says, "I'm so glad to be here." Is that right?
Okay.
Good to be here.
I don't want to, you know, Edwin's a very important special guest to me, so I'm going to let the team figure out his audio because I think it's always great having Edwin on our show because he dives in seriously on these details. So I'm going to let the crew get him going. We're going to move on to Grind Out number 2. Grind Out number 2 is in the field of recording. And this is sound designer. KingsIsle Entertainment is currently looking for a sound designer to help develop exciting new family-focused video games. Man, I wish my son was here, man. I'd have dragged him in here because he loves video games to the detriment of me. Like, and this is in Austin, Texas. Oh, folks.
All my actors live in Texas.
So if you're tuning in today, here we go. This is a grind up in the field of recording in Austin, Texas. They're looking for a sound designer to help develop exciting new family-focused video games for mobile and tablet devices. Responsibilities will include create various types of sound effects, edit, process, manage, and implement dialogue. Candidate must have the ability to work individually and collectively with an experienced team of sound designers in a creative and fast-paced environment. Candidate must have experience with Pro Tools, dialogue, and field recordings. Salaries will be commensurate with experience. Okay, so this is definitely a legit gig. Key things I want to point out here.
The more money you make, your money is directly tied into your experience.
There you go. And also, along with that experience, they want you to have experience with Pro Tools, dialogue, and field recordings. Okay, so, you know, sound designing can be a very, very fun gig because it's, but you got to have all the other things in place to run along with that, which is the dialogue and the field recordings. So, you know, you'll be working with an experienced team. So if you ain't experienced, they're going to look at you like, man, who let you in?
Well, you gotta say, who let the dogs out? Who let the riffraff in?
Who let this runt in? So you definitely want to make sure you're up to speed on that. And you want to be creative and fast because it's a fast-paced environment. So be able to go in there, execute, knock it out, and move on to the next. Again, I just want to recover your responsibilities because there's quite a few. They want you to be able to create various types of sound effects. They want you to be able to edit, process, manage, and implement dialogue. So, you know, those are definitely key points of this grind up if you want to make sure you have those written down or text, however you're doing it on your end, as key points. But this sounds like it could be fun. I mean, this is video games for mobile devices, you know, and tablets. So it could be cool. You know, it could be really fun.
Right? Like, I mean, it's video games. Yay.
Yeah. And, you know, the cool thing, like, I don't know if it pertains to this, but in the past, we were able to do some stuff with EA Sports a couple years ago. And being in the environment of gamers it's just fun. Like, yeah, serious gamers. Everybody's like champions at certain games. And, you know,
some like fire, some dexterity, like.
Yeah, exactly. And these guys just kind of sit around and throw around ideas, and then, you know, they got programmers and software guys, and then test it out and they play. It's like some frat house type, really cool, you know, like just cool, you know what I'm saying, on the couch, chilling, like, you know, but really cool stuff. So again, folks, that's in Austin, Texas. If you guys want to check that out, definitely something cool for recording and sound designers. All right. Moving off into grind up number 3. Chloe, I'm gonna let you knock this one out.
I get to do this. It's in the field of film. For production coordinator, says Method Studios is seeking a production coordinator that will be responsible for the assignment and tracking of tasks for assigned areas of responsibility. And this is also in New York, New York. So let's start spreading that news. He or she will facilitate the movement of shots between teams, coordinate daily reviews, and communicate status updates, ensuring the delivery of shots on schedule. Production coordinator will report to show supervisors. Candidate must possess highly developed communication skills to facilitate interdepartmental needs and schedules required, exhibiting a consistent standard of excellence in all business communications. Strong comprehensive knowledge of Microsoft Office suite and apps. So this job is equal parts admin and technical know-how.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So is there a couple key points that you can kind of just dive in? For instance, like, you know, how,
Sure.
you know, how you've seen it in your role, Chloe, when, you know, a production coordinator reports, you know, to various advisors or supervisors, show supervisors. Like, what's that? What are some of those processes, and what's expected?
Well, if you think about a movie and how every movie is broken down into scenes, well, every scene is broken down into like a bunch of different shots to make that one scene. And somebody's got to be responsible for making sure that you get all of those different parts. Even if you don't use them, you want to get what they call this coverage or that coverage, so that when you're sitting in the editing room later, you're not like, ah, damn it, we don't have this wide, or we don't have any like blah, blah, blah. And so the person that's going to keep it all together, or even like a commercial shoot, how they have a storyboard, the person that's like, we did this frame, da 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 da. It's all about storytelling, and this person is helping to keep it together, right? And the interdepartmental thing is because everybody needs those different shots for different purposes. Right. So this is your shot wrangler. And the fact that they have to have a knowledge of Microsoft Office suite, that's not a game. That's everything. That's Excel, that's PowerPoint, that's Word, that's, you know, all of these things that you use, some more than others, but Excel for sure.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So you got to be, so even just from like, you know, a laptop or computer, you got to be savvy with these various programs, you know, in order to really be a coordinator.
Yes.
You know, that, as best as you can. Let me ask you this, Chloe. When you deal with folks that are coordinating in this world, and you know they're responsible for certain things, how important is it for their personality to be on point and to be positive? And what's the energy of some of these folks that you've worked with that are in these positions as a production coordinator?
The production coordinators tend to be like pacifiers and fire putter outer people, because there's a bunch of shit that could explode and go on fire, both literally and figuratively. So they tend to be, again, everybody's different, every set is different, but from what I have experienced, they tend to be not chill, but direct and able to take in information, quickly translate, process it, and translate it back to you, but in a very even sort of way. Like, you're not going to see so much their feathers get ruffled, at least not with a talent.
Right.
You know, because I believe in overperforming too. So I'm not going to show up late and do anything that's going to spark that flame.
Now, I know with most coordinators, especially at this level, how easy is it for them to become overwhelmed with a lot to do? I mean, that's the norm, right?
That's default. That's like, if they're not overwhelmed, they're probably like, oh, I don't know how to, that probably would set them off. Okay. You know? So for this job, it's like, yeah, you're talking about a high stress sort of situation, for sure. For sure. You know, organization, all of that stuff, dealing with multiple personalities, as we often talk about, and responsibility for making sure you've got all of these different shots, and, you know, and probably dealing with some of the footage and what they call the dailies, getting that to the right people so that people can help to organize for the next day. Right.
Now, what kind of characteristics do you think one should have, you know, to be able to deal with a variety of teams, to be able to coordinate reviews, to be able to communicate updates? Like, what do you think someone needs to actually have as far as part of their working attitude or their actual skill?
I think one of the biggest things is organization.
Organization?
me personally, I think one of the biggest things is organization. Because if you're talking about and talking to 7 different departments, right? You need to know what the right hand needs to always know what the left hand is doing.
Right.
You know, and also the ability to duck on water it. So although there may be chaos down below, up top is sailing smooth. That's what we call a duck on water.
Nice.
At least where I'm from. Okay. Wait, for those of you that are just joining us, we do have our survey. It should be popped up on the right-hand side. We're asking, we want to know again for super special certain, what's your favorite part of Is Connected? So make sure you pop that in because we'll have the results pretty soon.
Can I say my favorite part?
I want you to say your favorite part.
So other than, you know, I mean, of course, I think it's an incredible thing and a beautiful thing to be able to offer jobs to our connected viewers that are only found here. But I think for me personally, Chloe, my favorite part is the Q&A. Because we kind of get to just dive through like whoever's on our chat, who's here, who's asking like really good questions. And that's kind of my favorite part because it allows us to engage with our community. So I just put that out there. So not that I'm trying to favor you guys into which one you should say is your favorite, but for me, that's mine.
Oh, you guys, we love you. We love you.
Yeah, we love. All right, so moving into grind out number 4. This is in the field of recording. This is for Harlem Globetrotters Sound Tech. The Globetrotters, yo, I've been watching the Globetrotters since I remember these dudes rocking afros and baby shorts. Like
baby shorts, dolphins.
Baby basketball shorts.
The little dolphins in the socks.
All right. So here we go. Sound tech needed for setup, breakdown, and maintenance of all fog machines, lights, studio colors, spots, lasers, backlights, DMX board, amps, and etc.
That's a lot.
This is in Peachtree Corners in GA. GA is
Georgia.
All right, here we go. Now that let me recover that because this is a lot of notes for you to take down as far as details. Here we go. Sound tech needed for setup, breakdown, maintenance of all fog machines, lights, studio colors, spots, lasers, backlights, DMX board, and amps, and etc. Okay, so hope you were able to cover all that. Matter of fact, which reminds me, I just had a buddy of mine who just moved to Georgia, and he was asking if we had any grind ops in Georgia. So remind me, Chloe, at the end of the show to hit him up so I can hit him up and let him know we do have one. Okay, here we go. He or she will test all sound equipment, microphones, etc. for proper in-arena sound. Candidate must be self-disciplined with strong work ethic, fast learner, flexibility to work long hours, weekends, and holidays as needed during the tour. There you go. Travel will be required. Flexible scheduling is a must. At least 1 year of audio-related experience required. Now, this sounds fun. This is a tour.
It's a tour with the Harlem Globetrotters.
Globetrotters. This could be really cool. So, quick detail on this one, guys. So, just to give you an idea of what equipment you'll be dealing with, that's sound equipment, microphones, and for proper in-arena sound. So you'll be in an arena setting. So it sounds like you'll be dealing with some backline, which is rented gear. So you got to kind of know your ins and outs on that as far as hookup, breaking it down, all those things. And they're asking that you be self-disciplined with strong work ethic. Now I'm going to say with any grind up we bring to the table, you have to be self-disciplined. And you got to have work ethic because none of this works without work ethic. So that's first and foremost. And you got to be a fast learner.
I have a question for you. The self-discipline thing for a job like this, when you're talking about so much gear, right? Because technically they're saying you only need at least 1 year of audio-related experience.
Right.
How much, I mean, how does discipline tie into the gear?
I think the discipline in this world is really just a matter of being on your game, meaning being on time, you know, making sure you're handling things properly, making sure you're actually up to speed on the gear you're setting up. Those are some of the things I see because I've been around cats like in this road, and a lot of them are laxy daisy, relax. You get comfortable because you develop a buddy kind of attitude because you're working around so many cats and everybody's kind of just pulling together. You're in together. You set up. You're in a bus together. So I think the self-discipline just is one of those things where you just constantly remind yourself that this is a job. This ain't hangout. This ain't, because it's a fun gig. So those, to me, that's where the self-discipline kind of kicks in. It's like knowing what you're there for, keeping in mind that it is a job,
Right.
along, and you're working along with friends that you've just befriended. So to me, that's where the self-discipline and being on time, because you're going to bed late and you're waking up extremely early to set up for the next event.
Right.
To me, that's where the self-discipline, because what you don't want to do is get relaxed and then you set up something wrong and other stage production starts to notice your weak link. So to me, that's where the self-discipline comes into play, because you got to be a fast learner, and you got to be flexible with long hours, and you're working on weekends, holidays.
Right.
So
I made that very clear.
Yeah, there's no downtime. So that's where all those things kick in for you, because you got to be able to get in there and really do what you're supposed to do. So that kind of, and like you said, Chloe, I mean, they're only asking for 1 year of experience, and that tells me
not a lot.
Yeah, that tells me because they're asking you to be a fast learner, like they'll take that 1 year of experience, but you got to be able to like learn really quick even from that point on. So again, folks, that's sound tech for Harlem Globetrotters, and that's in Peachtree Corners in Georgia. Okay. It looks like we got my man Edwin's in the house finally. We got some audio. Say what's up, Edwin.
Georgia was on my mind.
What's up, Georgia?
I had to.
Yo, what's up, Edwin? How you doing, man?
How are you guys? So sorry about that. It happens. It's all about the show must go on, right? So we figured out a way, and I'm excited to be here with you guys.
James Brown would always say that, man. The show always goes on, man.
He also said, "Get on good foot. Get on good foot."
Hot tub.
How are you, Chloe?
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes,
I'm channeling Rocker Chick.
I love it. That's awesome. So what are we talking about?
We're
talking about Grind Out 5.
Yeah, we're about to go to Grind Out 5. So being that you're coming in on Grind Out 5, man, I'm gonna announce this Grind Out, and then I'm gonna let you just kind of dive in, man. Just based off of some of the things you see, because this last Grind Out is in the field of film, and I'm sure you see tons of folks shooting whatever resume or just trying to apply for these type of jobs in film. So I think you'll be able to carve out some really good information based upon what this Grind Up is asking for. And also too, and we got a nice variety of viewers in our chat box that have really great questions.
Let's do it.
So you'll be able to dive into that too with us when we get to the Q&A.
I'm excited. I'm excited to be with everybody. Thank you so much for having me.
Man, always great to have, man. You're a connected all-star, man. Shoot, what are you talking about?
Hashtag connected all-star.
So here we go. This is Grind Up is in the field of film. This is freelance editor. Rapidly growing Los Angeles-based entertainment studio is looking for energetic and eager freelance video editors. This is in Los Angeles, California, our hometown here. Here we go, guys. Let's see. They're looking for somebody to be successful in this position. With ideal candidates must be fast and efficient in Adobe Premiere, have flexible schedules, and be available to work on short notice. Candidate must have knowledge in daily and topical entertainment, and sports news is preferred. Candidate must submit his or her editing reel and resume. He or she will be working under contract. Wow, they actually listed $150 a day. $150 a day. So
that's sweet.
Great thing I want to point out now that we have you here, Edwin, is we've been talking throughout the existence of our show about a reel or resume. Now, just based off of everything you've seen, I mean, and you've seen it all come across your desk, right? I want you to very, very detailed explain to me the difference between a resume and a reel or sizzle reel.
Of course.
For our viewers.
Your resume is where it's your ticket, right? It's your biography in one page. It's where
one page.
On one page, it's where your page is gonna be next to hundreds of pages, right? And you want to make sure it's the right, and it's so funny now that you asked me that. The most common thing that I've seen in resumes, which is funny, it's a lot of very basic things, very basic grammar things that we need to attack, in order for it to look great, right? And I this came to mind. When you go into a supermarket, you like things to be neat, or else you're not going to buy it, or else why would you buy it? So why would your resume be messy, right? So you in one page, that's your resume. Now sizzle reel, this is where this is your time to shine. Now sizzle reel, it doesn't mean, oh, I just have a sizzle reel and that's it, I check that off. No, it's you better have the best sizzle reel that you can have
for you.
Exactly. Now what does that entail? That entails you working on this reel and giving it to people, not your friends, but your mentors, and say, what do you think of this? Give me the real feedback. That's how it is. It's not, nobody's alone, but in order to build the sizzle reel, use the mentors, use the people around you. As long as people see that you want to work hard, people are going to want to help you out. So that's the difference between a sizzle reel and a resume. What's
the difference between a resume and a cover letter?
Oh, resume and a cover letter. Good one. That's amazing. Now a cover letter, this is where you show that, right? This is where you drop the pen and you show how much you're interested in the employer. How are you interested? Did you research, or was it just another page that you saw and you just submitted your application? No, I mean, anybody can do that. But did you do your research? Did you take 10 minutes to see what they're all about? What is this corporate company about? A lot of these video editing things, opportunities, have to see, these are big opportunities. Why? Because you're working with corporations.
You don't know
if you don't know if so-and-so that works for that corporation, his sister-in-law is the head of Warner Brothers. You just don't know that. You have to approach that with that seriousness. And if you don't take yourself seriously, people aren't going to take you seriously.
And so in the research vein, in terms of doing your research for a cover letter, you've been seeing a lot of very vague opinion-based things as opposed to facts, like the idea of what you can give to this company, fact-based, right?
Exactly.
Why they can't live without you.
And if you do it, and for our viewers, if you do that, there's nothing wrong with that. But think about it, think about how stores sell you their product. You're selling your product to the employer. A lot of stores will do research on you. A lot of stores know, they hire people that do research on when you come in. What do you like to see on the right? I don't know why supermarkets came to me. I guess that's the topic of the day, So that's how you have to.
Maybe you're hungry. It's lunchtime.
Maybe, maybe. But that's how you have to approach your cover letter. This is, you are competing against everybody else. You got competing against the majority, against everybody.
Not everybody does a cover letter either.
Exactly. Not everybody. So basically, the cover letter, just to play it in layman's terms, is why should they care about who you are? Who are you? Why should they care? They don't want to hear about you. They want to hear about them. Make them feel like you care about them,
Right. Yes. Now, real quick, Edwin, what kind of resumes and reels do you see that instantly get shot down?
Oh, man, the majority. And the reason is because
damn. I want you to reiterate that for all
of course.
My man Edwin said the majority get shot down. Tell him why, Edwin. And
it's because we are so we fall in love with this position, and the position, oh, I want that position, and we have fantasized it about so much that we're like, no, in order to get there, there's some steps. Your resume has to look the best. Your resume, you need to literally pass it out everywhere. Something I used to do, I used to go to Starbucks and just put my resume, and I would have a tally on how many times I would get called. So I'm like, okay, and you change it up. Things like this are the little things that successful people do. They're the little things. Everybody at some point is going to be as talented as you. Everybody's going to work hard as you, but who's going to take that initiative to do things? Because if you do the initiative on your cover letter, that tells the employer, you're going to be very grateful for the opportunity. You're going to take initiative there too.
You know what? This is. I just want to drop this quote, and I'll tweet this out later. But Maya Angelou has this very famous quote. May she rest. Brilliant woman. She says, we've all probably heard it, but I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel.
And that goes into our interview, right? Into interview. Yeah, because the person that's going to interview, they're not looking forward to your interview. You know, when you're in the interview, it's a whole process. You wake up and you can't sleep the whole night. You're like, oh my God, it's like a date. Keep in mind, for them, you're just another person, because they have hundreds of people that they have to see. So how are you going to impact them? You're going to be the one that's actually interested in the company. You're actually going to be interested in, how's this person's day? You're number 55 in the day, and who knows what this person is going through, and he has to hire somebody, so little things like that can really make the difference.
That's what's up, man. And that's what I want to remind some of our viewers, and especially folks that are in our Q&A, is like, we like to think of you as the guru of the jobs. Here
you see it all the time.
Yeah, you see it all the time. And the thing is, with a lot of our guests, they do have those questions as to, what do I need to make sure stands out? It's like, it never should be a thing where you're thinking how to oversell yourself. That really doesn't sync up to your actual real-time experience. And, a guy like you, Edwin, who sees this every day as far as what you need to look at, what you need to point out, how to get this job. I mean, this is your role. And I think it's extremely important that our viewers understand that the information you're dropping on them right now is really it. It's how you get the gig now. You know what I'm saying? It's like we bring you the gig, and now you got to do your due diligence and put it together and present it. And you're that guy that can actually jump in the middle of it and say, here's what you didn't cover. Make sure you recorrect that. Or like this is inside trading to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey man, we can help you. We can really help you. We can get you over there. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's crucial, is that information you have, Edwin.
Exactly. And you know what, honestly, guys, it comes into our viewers as well. It doesn't come because this is something of an employment. No, this comes, and this is one of the hidden jewels of the career centers for the recording, radio, and film connection, is that the career people are actually doing that. This is what I'm doing. I'm not reading this. I'm actually doing this. And I've actually spent years hitting my head in the wall. I'm like, oh, that was the wrong move. All right, move. That was the wrong move. So if you have the opportunity to get this advice, you're already ahead of the game a few years,
Yes.
And these are the things that are going to make the difference, Go to the internet and see how these people did it, and you're going to see that the most successful people are the ones that have the most failures. But their difference is that they know how to approach it and how they approach it. And and don't don't romanticize your career. It's 2017. Be excited and
yes. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, man. So again, guys, that was Grind Up for the Field of Film freelance editor, and that was in Los Angeles, California. Now I know we have some interesting results in, Chloe, from what we were talking about earlier, and I want to go ahead and let you get into those results so we can see what it is, what different compartments of Connected is it that people love and enjoy the most. Go ahead, break it down.
Well, what we found today, the question for those of you just joining us is, what's your favorite part of Is Connected? And the options were, is it the Grind Ops? Is it our career advice? Is it the Q&A, guest interviews? What the results are, Grind Ops got 33%. Our career advice got 39%.
Nice.
Q&A 22%, and our guest interviews 6%. Boom.
Okay. So the numbers are changing. It's like, everybody's kind of, it's all based on preference. Some folks might like this, some folks might like that, and it's all good as long as you enjoy something, and that's, to me, that's what.
And if I may say something for the viewers, the reason that there is this questionnaire, this survey, is the same thing, because we want to improve. Yes. And if the pros want to improve, why shouldn't you, It's like, we may think, oh, this is what's hitting, and the market is telling you, no, this is what it is. And I feel like a lot of graduates tend to be like, no, but this is how I always thought it was going to be. And it's like, the industry's not there anymore. We're in 2017. Yeah. We're spring 2017.
Yeah.
This
The
is where
game
we're
has
at.
changed. The game has
Wait.
changed.
So
Which-
Edwin, you saying that's like the perfect transition into the video that we have, because we have you sat down for the School of Hard Knocks salon, if you will.
Right. Yeah, and that was, that's the thing. Is like, we talked about, why your attitude is important in the creative world, and why it's so not cool to fake it until you make it anymore. And it's like you gotta show them that you can deal. So, rather than give away what I talked about in the video, let's cut to the video. Let's show them what we got going on. When it comes to your attitude, a lot of it can be generated from your surroundings or what you're going through, or any of those kind of things that just affect you emotionally. And I think attitude is always so important and vital, especially a positive attitude. You'll find that in the creative worlds, that a positive attitude just festers great energy, and it just gets people going. And when you're creative, you definitely want the best vibes around you. You don't want bad vibes. You don't want somebody's day to kind of just derail your train of thought or your concept or your idea, because creative, essentially, we pull on things. We pull on a human for maybe a topic, a concept, inspiration. And depending on those different vibes, I mean, you don't want to be the vibe killer, and a bad attitude can generate a lot of things that just derail everybody. So I think it's always important, man, to get your day going, positive attitude, your working environment, positive attitude. And that's like the personality or trait that you just want to carry with you at all times.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so true.
It's so true, right? Like, I notice even in my role, like, even as a leader, or even at like the Caked Up Bakery, everybody's focused, right? And they're baking and they're in the kitchen. Now I can walk in there and be like, all right, guys, what do we got going today? Where's our quantities? Or I can walk in there and be like, my team, man, is everybody feeling good? Like, are we excited? Do we have the music on? Where's it? Like, that can change the whole duration of the day. And even me as, a person in position to lead, I actually tell myself, okay, I need to go in here and create a very fun environment for these folks right now. And I make that decision to go in there and do that. And I think anytime you can create an enjoyable environment for work, man, that's what you want to do. You want to make people feel like, outside of them and their work hours, that you really do care about them. Like, you care to know how their day's going, and you care to know, like, hey, man, I know you're having it rough. It's holidays, it's Christmas, but you know what? Everything, when you get here, we're gonna light you up. Everything's okay.
The other thing too is, like, when you talk about creatives and having a positive attitude, creatives are by nature, regardless of whether or not they tap into it, they are spongy people. So whatever that energy is, it gets absorbed. And not everybody is Adele, who can take that pain or that frustration and make it into and just go platinum. Some people can go real dark and awful. And so it's important, as a person leading creatives, to lead with an open hand as opposed to an iron fist. That's all. I just dropped that bomb, and now I'm just gonna keep it moving.
Yeah, and now
can I drop another one?
Yeah, go ahead and drop the bomb.
I want to approach this a little bit different, and actually, just from my experience. Well, how can you be positive? How can I be positive when my bills can't be paid? How can I be positive when I know my mom is sick or my dad is sick, and I don't know, because this is what I've gone through in the industry, and I know a lot of our viewers go through it, and it's hard, right? It's hard, and we have to learn how to understand that we're doing this. This is the industry. It's a creative industry. It's a very vibey industry, right? We all go through stuff. Everybody, just because everybody's smiling doesn't mean it's all. Just because I'm here smiling like, hey guys, doesn't mean that it's all butter and cheese. It isn't, But if you understand, I don't know why butter and cheese. I don't know. I don't know. I'm hungry. Sorry. actually separate that, right? How to separate. What I did, just a mental trick, I was like, all right, I'm in the studio. Yes, I may not be able to, and being real, I may not be able to afford a McChicken right now, but let me think of why I remembered why I'm doing this, because of music, right? We're doing this because of music. We're doing this because of film. Why did you? Because you saw this film and you loved it, and that's gonna get hard, especially in this industry when nobody calls you back, and you've worked on your resume. And then what?
And you're
You know?
real, and you've been to 50 million auditions, and you haven't booked a gig, and you blah 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 blah. It's real.
That is where your real career starts. You know, that is where the industry, I think the great thing about the entertainment industry that kind of molds you. It kind of builds your skin, that by the time, 20 years pass, you kind of smiling like, wow, I'm 20 years in this industry, and that's amazing. Like, you help others. That's what I love about this industry, that it feeds itself. You know, the same thing we're doing this. We want to feed the young people, everybody who, even the ones that lost this dream and picked it up at 50. It's not too late. You know,
It's never too late.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I think, so many things. And I know we need to get to the Q&A. We got to get to the Q&A.
I could go on.
But I could too. I just also want to say, because that's the world, right? I feel that very deeply. The whole idea of putting your blinders on and running your race. You cannot measure your success, right, by what somebody else that's in your same age bracket or been doing it the same. You cannot judge your success by somebody else's. Their path is different. You don't know their highs, you don't know their lows. So it's important is that you show up, you do your work, you hashtag overperform, and you always show up. And that's just the way that energy in the world works, is they will come to pass. Like it will happen. You know, it may not look like what you thought you wanted it to look like, which is what we were talking about earlier with attachments, but it will happen.
Yes. And also another thing, we're talking about vibes and everything. Think, okay, if I'm having a hard day, how can I be as neutral as possible? That way I don't cause attention to myself. Because regardless, there's every minute that you're in the studio, there's somebody's paying money. That's just what it is. So yeah, I hope that helps.
Absolutely, Edwin. So guys, we got 8 minutes. We got some Q&A that's going on. We got some questions. So we definitely want to jump into that. Chloe, let's start reading and scrolling through some of these questions.
Love it. I'm gonna scroll down to the bottom, so I could try.
I see one from Jordan that says, any grind ops in the Boston area or Chicago? That's actually
we had some last week. Yeah,
we actually have had a couple in Chicago and Boston. So, it's kind of one of those things where you just continue to tune in with us, and we will definitely have something for you in either one of those states and cities. Also, too, what you can do is go to our website, and you'll be able to see a list of all our grind ops. So you'll be able to find the ones that were in Chicago and the ones that were in Boston, and we can actually help you in regards to figuring out if somebody was actually hired for those positions that we offered. So definitely want to do that. Just takes a little bit of homework, but you can definitely find what we've had in Boston and Chicago.
And guys, also on that point, make sure that you do check out our the other 5 grind ops, because this week we have recording job in Minnesota, we've got film jobs in Arizona and Minnesota, and a culinary jobs in California and Ohio. And you can only get those at our fedu.com connected page. So Sharmella Ivy, hi Sharmella, wants to know if there is any advice for a beginning music producer.
Yeah, that's such a huge, it's a simple question, but it's such a huge, vast rabbit hole.
And people are helping her in the career feed too. Mason is all up in it too. Our feed is popping off for Sharmella. Go ahead.
I think anybody, who's looking to jump in, to producing, I think one of the things to do that's extremely important right away is to get an understanding of what actual producing is. Everybody has a different idea of what that is. Everybody thinks because you make a beat, you're a producer, or because you have a relationship with musicians that you're a producer. I like to say a producer is somebody that doesn't necessarily have to play an instrument, doesn't necessarily have to make a beat. If you look at what Quincy Jones did for Thriller, he was a guy that could take an idea, concept, put all the people together and execute, and then have a finished product and present it. That's what a producer does. And that's really what the job description is. It's somebody who can take something from scratch, get it all the way to the end of the finish line to where it's ready, and then present it. And through that journey, you might have, you know, a great songwriter like a Ted Templeton. And then you got Greg Fillinganes who plays keys, and then you put this body of work together. That's what a producer does. So it's really kind of understanding that. And you can also, as a producer, you can be a songwriter. You can be a dude who does the music. You can be, you know, a string player. So, you know, all those different facets of what a producer is. And, you know, if you're talking about being a songwriter or a music producer, then that's, you know, you want to have your gear. You want to have, you know, a laptop, a computer, a recording system, whether it's Pro Tools, Ableton, Logic. Those are some of the things. But I think for the question that was asked, I think it's important for you to understand what kind of producer are you looking to be, and most importantly, like what it is that you do. Are you, like I said, are you a songwriter? Are you somebody that puts the music together? Are you somebody that can take a bunch of different components and start it, create it, and finish it? So it really depends.
I have one real quick.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Sharmella.
Sharmella. So check this out. It's very scary, right? When you open a Logic session, any type of session, this is what I would say, just to add to is, don't make it so hard on yourself. Get your favorite records, import them into the session, and what you're going to start creating is called sound-alikes. And you're going to start copying these records. And what you're going to start doing is you're going to start seeing how someone else approaches this song, right? There's nothing new under the sun. Start copying the songs. The best way that you're going to find your identity is to start copying, because you're going to see that's the best way you can teach yourself. Oh, these are arrangement go. Oh, you know, literally start from hearing a song 10 times. Make a list. What do you hear the first time? Oh, I hear the kick. How does the kick go? It goes like this. Create it, you know? Oh, how does the snare go? Things like that. That's really going to help you create a lot of sound-alikes. And then, you know, just jump in the water. Just get in the water. Start making music, and you don't have to create, because creating scratch when you don't have experience is kind of scary. Even when you're experienced, right? It's like, I don't know, I need to make something new today. No, just create sound-alikes. This is an exercise that the most expensive music schools to this day use right at the beginning. They put students to just create sound-alikes of top 10 songs. And it doesn't have to be just a Billboard song. Anything, an Asian song, an Indian song, anything, and try to copy it in its entirety until it's done.
Nice.
Okay,
one of the things
Ken wants to know. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Claire. Just one of the things I wanted to point out that is important to us is we have Steven here, who is actually, he says he's trying to enroll now as we speak to RRFC. So I want to make sure our team focuses on him. His name is Steven. So I want to make sure we assist him in any way possible to make it a very painless and very well understanding process. Shout out to Steven, who is joining the RRFC. Shout out to you, Steve. Thank you.
Shout out.
Love it. So Ken wants to know, I believe, Ken, maybe you can clarify. I think this is in reference to the grind off number 4 for the Globetrotters, but he wants to know on maintaining gear, is this repair, or are they referring to troubleshooting, as in problem solving and signal chain?
Actually, maintaining gear in that environment for that grind up, it's more or less, you know, unloading, loading, setup. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, I see cats who are, because they do it every day, day in, day out, they tend to throw around gear. They don't care about it. They put it back in the traveling cases. However, so that's, to me, where the quality of work being done in that environment needs to be really handled with care, because you can take a microphone, throw it in a box, and get shipped to the next venue, and now that mic sounds like crap. So in a technical aspect, that's probably as technical as it'll be. You're not really repairing anything. However, you should have some know-how there in the event something does go down. But for the most part, it's really just understanding the gear and how to properly unload, pack back up, get it on the trucks, those kind of things. Kind of just handling with care.
Okay. Sharmella wants to know, how do you guys feel about mentors? And also, when you have zero connections, how do you get their attention?
How do I feel about mentors? I think mentors are crucial. I can honestly say for my journey that it's because I had such incredible mentors that were able to share information and guide me and let me know what's to come. Is part of the reason why I'm here still today doing what I love to do. Because somebody took the time, somebody that had experience, had the information, took the time to pull me aside and say, here, you know, here's what you want to do. Here's what to look for. Here's how I can help you. Because, you know, it's one thing to take information from somebody that ain't never been in the game, you know, but has all the right ideas of how you should be doing something. It's another thing to be with somebody that does it day in, day out, has made a career out of it, is successful, that pours that information. And that's what I call privileged information. It's information that most people have to pay for, you know. And to me, that's the difference. I mean, mentors are extremely important. I mean, it was vital to my journey. And I'm sure for all of us, Edwin, Chloe, I'm sure it's been vital to even your guys' journey.
And even if I could add real quick to that, what if, you know, how do I approach them? Well, the way I did it as well, when I didn't know anybody, and still I see it this way, I say, no, people like Rick Rubin, they're my mentor. Rick Rubin, Benny Blanco, they're my mentors. Have I ever met them? No, but I've read every single book that has been written about them. I read every single interview that they've done, every single video. There's no excuse. We have technology now that could show us, oh, this is how this person, these are his habits. This is what Rick Rubin would do. This is what Benny Blanco does every morning. Oh, let me do the same thing, you know? I think even if you don't have access to a physical mentor, get that discipline and find mentors, the best of the best.
Yeah, totally.
Hello. So then we have Corey wants to know, this looks like the last question, like official question, as opposed to just follow-ups. Corey says, if I send you guys my resume, can you give me feedback / help me tweak it?
Of course, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chloe,
that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, Chloe, let's remind them where they can actually send that so we can get our hands on it.
Sure. So you want to send that, Corey and everybody else, to connected@rrfedu.com. And like we were saying at the top of the show, we've got a bunch of stuff right now that we're going through. So thank you all for your patience. We've been just so overcome by the love and people that want to connect with us. So just please keep it coming. So yes, Corey, yes to that.
Absolutely. And we have another question that just came in, guys. It's from Robert. He said, any advice in gaining personal hands-on experience in audio recording using Pro Tools? I'm a recent graduate, but don't know how to go about getting some experience in actually recording, whether recording myself or someone else. Sounds like you didn't go to the Recording Connection, but we got you. We got you.
Yes, we do.
I would say, let me see, graduate, but I would say, man, if you got a little setup, you know, maybe reach out to, actually, if you got a guitar center in your area, you can find a slew of musicians waiting to get in the studio at a good guitar center. And if you got a little setup or you got access to a setup, you know, I'm sure you can get somebody to come in and say, hey, man, is it possible I can just maybe record you for an hour or two, and maybe in return I'll give you, you know, a CD or a physical, you know, a physical piece of your recording that you can have, and so it's a fair trade-off. But that's a great way to get some experience of recording, you know, a musician, and it allows you to start, you know, getting your techniques down as far as what you're going to run the guitar through, or if you want to do a drummer, or you start building up that experience. So that's probably a great way. And you can also do a reach out on your social media, reach out to you know, any musicians in the area, and get your engineering chops going. I mean, that's probably the quickest way you can get some good personal hands-on experience in recording.
What if we do it a little bit more practical though? What if he, what's his name? Sorry.
His name is Robert.
What if Robert goes to his local high school? Talk to the director there. Hey, can I just record the band? You're gonna have a jazz band. You're gonna have, like, I just wanna record. And you're gonna have high school kids that, hey, they're excited to record, right? They're not going to be amazing, but not only are you going to improve as an engineer, you're going to improve as a vocal producer. Or they might be. Or they might be. You know, but if the worse they are, the better, because you're going to improve. No, make it so let me make these guys sound good. You're going to learn how to be a vocal producer. You're going to learn how to be a producer. You're going to learn how to be a great engineer. And it's like, think there's a lot of practical ways that you could approach these things. You know, there's a lot of kids that would be excited, you know, a lot of teenagers, you know, you obviously go through administration, you know, and be like, hey, I'll give you guys the recordings for free. Let me just record, you know? And yeah, every single Tuesday and Wednesday when there's jazz band, go. And you could try X pairs, X, Ys, all space pairs, all these different things. Really, there's a lot of options you could do. Think outside the box.
Which leads me into like our last little comment, because our feed is blowing up with our connected faithfuls helping each other. So it's like, guys, yes, live and do. Wayne E says, you are mentoring right now. Appreciate your time addressing our dreams and desires in the field of recording.
Amazing.
Yeah. Now here's what's great. Here's what also great that I love about our Q&A now, Edwin. I'm looking at a message from Mason, and he's actually saying to another person who's in our Q&A, he's saying, at Robert, if you add me on FB, I can direct you to a group that we share stems on. You can download multi-tracks for free to practice on. See, now that's like in its purest form of connected.
Yes.
Because now folks are connecting with each other.
Yes.
And all that helps benefit each other as far as.
This is how you build a network.
This is how you build a network. So.
And make sure you maintain the network. Follow up, guys, every week. How are you? Don't just talk about music. Hey, who are you?
Don't just always talk about yourself, right? Ask questions and listen to the answers.
Exactly. Help each other. That's amazing. I'm excited.
Dope. Well, guys, I think we are at 12:07 now, so we gave it 7 more minutes, and it's always, you know, that's what happens when great things are going on and the vibe is right. You just go. There's no time frame. You just go. But it's another great thing, guys. Do not forget there's an additional 5 jobs on our site that you can connect to. And this is something we do here every week. For those of you who tuned in for the first time, we are here every Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Do not sleep. Catch us on our social media. It's connected on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Track our day-to-day.
Where do they find you, Iz?
They find me at Iz_Avila. And you can see what I got going on, and you can see what Chloe's got going on hers. And shout out to my man Edwin, who is the guru, the author of jobs, resumes, information. It's always fun having you here, man. We love you, bro. And thanks for chiming in on our Grind Ops and our Q&A. You're definitely a huge component to our team. Shout out to the rest of our team: Mike, Howie, Brian, Michael, Chevy.
Michael, yes.
Still love you. I'm still bitter about our Thanksgiving dinner, and I will continue to blast y'all who didn't make it. But I love you guys. Everyone gets a pass because Edwin's, I don't know, he's just special. You know, Edwin's special. But yes, do not forget to tune in here next week on Monday, and also you can catch us on our Google Play and podcasts. I'm your host, DJ Iz. Love being here. My lovely co-host.
I'm Chloe Wyatt Taylor, guys. Thank you for tuning in today.
And our job guru, Mr. Edwin the Man.
Big hugs, everybody. Let's just keep going, guys. Let's just keep fighting.
Absolutely. Yeah. And on that note, we are out. Love y'all. Keep it grinding. Today's Monday Movement. Get out there and get things going. Get off your mama's couch if you're still on it. We will catch you next week. I'm Iz. Peace.